For today's activity, we're going to talk about the differences between hard and soft light. The property of light that this is called quality. Now, hard light is from a direct light source where your shadows have hard, sharp, crisp edges to them. Soft light is from an indirect light source. Either the light is bouncing off of a subject and being reflected, or it's being diffused. And what we're going to do today is I'm going to show you, again, with common, simple things that you could have at home, I'm going to show you how to create a lighting setup where you have an object, you have a light source, and you're creating hard light, and then you modify that light to become soft. Once again, what I've done is I've created a situation where I have a simple object. I have a single direct light source. Now, for today, I'm using a desk lamp. And the reason why I'm doing this is because the light shines forward. I'm not able to use this lamp today because this lamp sort of goes everywhere. It's an omnidirectional light source. Because what I want to show you is one of the ways that you can create indirect light is by bouncing light. So if you look right here, if I light this subject up, this is very direct light. You have extremely harsh, hard shadows casting off in a single direction. Now, if I were to turn this lamp away from my subject and instead take a white board and bounce light off of the whiteboard and light my subject up from that light. So this is no bouncing light and bouncing light. You can see that something has happened to the shadow. It's now softer. It doesn't have sharp edges. The shadows that are forming and wrapping around the subject are softer. This is because the light source that I have is now bouncing off of a big board and softening itself because it's dispersed in an indirect way. So this is one way where you could create an indirect light source or diffused light source. What you're going to do today for the prompt is you're going to photograph an object with direct light and then immediately follow it up with indirect light. Now, the second way that you can create indirect light is to diffuse the light. So instead of reflecting it, I'm going to have a direct light source that shines at my subject, and I'm going to put something in the way of that light source that diffuses it. Now, what I'm using right now is ordinary parchment paper that you find in the kitchen. So you could ask, wax paper would work just as well. If you happen to be in another art class and you have tracing paper works really great. And really, really thin white sheets. So if you have some thin pillowcases or white sheets that really transmit a lot of light through them, this would work. I want you to watch carefully what happens to this object. I have a direct light, and now as I diffuse it, the light on the subject becomes so much softer. The shadows start blending away. You get this pleasing wraparound effect to the light. It's just different. This is very dramatic. This is very soft. And so what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to go to and switch to Lightroom Mobile, and I'm going to take pictures for this prompt. So once again, for the prompt, when you're in Lightroom Mobile, you're going to go to the camera icon, and you're going to carefully position your camera in a composition where we can see the subject. It's filling the frame nicely, but we're also at the same time leaving room for those shadows to cast on whatever your table surface is. So I'm going to move this subject a little closer. Now I'm going to play with the light. What I'd like to do is, before I take pictures, and this is something that you should do now that we've explored light and lighting, is see what light direction ends up looking interesting to you. I really like this light direction here. I might make some adjustments to my composition. I definitely think I could lower my camera a little bit. I really like this lighting here. I'm actually going to use the rule of thirds today. And the reason why I'm going to do that is I really like the shadow casting this way. So I'm going to go ahead with hard light, and I'm going to take that picture. Then immediately, I'm going to grab my diffuser, and I'm going to put it in the way, and I'm going to go ahead and diffuse that light. Now I'm going to have to be careful about where this is so it doesn't show up in the frame. But I'm going to go ahead and diffuse that light and then take this picture again. Really nice. Very, very cool. I have hard light. I have soft light. Now I'm going to do this twice. That was using a diffuser. Now what I'm going to do is rotate my light source away from the subject, and I'm going to use reflected light to light my subject up with soft light. And I'm going to take that picture. And that's it.